All right, so let's talk a little hip hop for a while, right? Well, actually, we're going to talk about hip hop for a good while, I should say, right? But we are going to kick things off with the Wise tapes, right? This is the newest mixtape from Trinidadian rapper Stunner Park, or well, I'm just going off of what he's calling himself now currently on Spotify. By the way, this is on Spotify, right? So for the interest of this review here, I'm gonna call him Stunner, right? Going forward, right? This is a follow up to his mixtape season volumes 1 and 2 mixtapes, right? And in this case here with the Wise tapes, production is handled by Mike Wise, right? Y'all should know him if you've been listening to this podcast here. Dope rapper and producer, right? So what we get here is basically this 5-track mixtape slash EP, right? So it starts off with the track "Life of a G" featuring Pharaoh Garo, right? There's these like opening synths, these twinkling synths, right? But I know I've heard them before. I know it's from this 80s R&B song or something like that. But for the life of me, I just can't remember the name of it, right? But I love how the pitch switches up a bit, and when the drums kick in, right? Stunner comes through with a great hook, but it has this noticeable grandeur to it. So he's like, life of a G, life of a G, another scripture written in my diary, right? Very Tupac, very Scarface inspired, right?
Right. Yeah.
Pharaoh comes through with a dope first. I love how he sounds really charismatic and cocky throughout it. He drops bars like, flow so cool, like I'm streaming out of Alaska. Sons of bitches, ask your mom, go ahead, ask her.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That line, I was like, all right, all right. Stunner comes through with some braggadocious bars as well too. He does a little pop culture references here and there. So he says, "I'm Lucky Luciano and Tony Soprano. I'm kicking down heads and sit like I'm Luffy and Wano." Right? I assume that's a One Piece reference, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um,
Probably.
yeah, it's short. It's actually the shortest track on the mixtape, so it's clocking in at 2 minutes, but it's sweet and to the point, right? And for me, that's easily the best way I could describe this album. Like short, sweet, to the point, right? Next track we have is Mute, which features Blade Major. It has this soulful 70s black exploitation inspired beat. It sounds like the type of music you listen to if you were like cruising in a Cadillac Eldorado, right, in the daytime. Superfly style, right? Kids Act Spirits. Even the intro sounds like the kind of things you be thinking about while you're driving, right? So, it's just thinking about, just realizing that there's more to life than money and girls and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So Blade Major opens the track off with the stream of consciousness type bars. He has this rather gruff voice about him, you know what I mean? But he's just kind of talking about how we slowly being conditioned and to act and be less than human, right? He mentions the absence of the freedom of speech, negative messages being broadcast through the media, or movies to be precise, and so on, right? Stutter matches his verse with a really cynical but very thoughtful look at the world around him, along with his disdain for politicians and the half-hearted approach to solving problems, right? He even brings up a little treaty politics as well too, where he says, "Give me a black pope, damn it, give me some hope. Presidency ain't shit. Trump made that a joke. Give away laptops, let me bring it back home. I know you're glad you would see him trying to build up a dome, right?" I was like, it's a Kamala reference
Right.
there. Okay, I see,
Right.
I see. But yeah, this was a dope track overall though, but it's really like the in my zone vibe of it that really makes it
Yeah.
work, right? Next off, we have the Pussycut G4L veterans, right? Featuring Next Gen and JJ, right? And this is basically like just all throughout this mixtape, it's basically Stunner collaborated with his G4L, crew, right? Or his brethren, I should say, right? In this case, with this track here, we get this soulful boom bap beat. It has some church organ keys, has some male vocalizing in the background. I know that hook from somewhere. I don't know. Again, for the life of me, just can't pick up on that sample though, right? But it's clearly from some 70s soul song, right? But anyway, so Next Gen opens the track with this smooth laid back flow. It really fits well with the beat. Even when he switches to like a triplet flow after his first 8 bars, it still fits with the beat, right? JJ representing Arima. Nice repping Arima as well too. From one Arimian to another. Comes through with some witty, slightly animated bars in the second verse. His final bars though, I fucks with, so sorry for butchering them, right? So he says, "Ain't been a minute, but I've been consistent. Not like these bitches that drop every month or so. Still nobody talking about you like your name is Bruno." Like, all right, dropping Bruno bars. Okay, I see you. Right, so starting to close this track off nicely. You know, really love how laser focused he is with his delivery, how potent his bars are. And yeah, I mean, this was a solid track right here, man. And up next, we have what is, in my opinion, the best track on this mixtape. This is Feelings. This features Trackstar and Bleed Major, right? For me, this is the best track because of how dark and sinister the vibe of this song is, right? If Mute is the track that you listen in the day when you're in that Eldorado, Feelings is the track that you listen to in the night when you're just like out the streets, just cruising and just taking place with all the like shady nocturnal stuff going on, right? Trackstar kicks things off brilliantly with, you know, these braggadocious bars. I love his closing lines where he says, "I's not best creed, so please don't mix me. I never met a gal who don't miss me," right? And his hook, it's so simple and it's effective, but I just love it though, you know what I mean? Stunna comes through with a solid second verse. He's spitting some grimy ass bars here. Like he says, the winner's circle is fickle because all the bones are brittle. Me as an enemy means I won't let you breathe a little, right? Bleed Major comes back now into the mixtape and he closes the track off with this menacing, like really aggressive verse though. Like I never like met Bleed Major in my life though. I mean, shout out to Bleed Major, do you think? But he's like the type of person, if you just watch him the wrong way, he would do like he says on this track though and throw your ass down a precipice if this happens twice, right? You know what I mean? That's real grimy this way. But best track on the mixtape, bar none, right? Love this. And last but not least, I should say, we have 4Q, right, which features Super Freak, right? Title is pretty self-explanatory, so it's basically Stunna and Super Freak just taking shots at just the higher ups, everyone in power, particularly those who kind of just use their status and power to undermine the common man, right? The beat for this is the most emotionally driven on this mixtape here. It has the stirring female vocal, with this stirring female vocal sample, these tense piano keys, and has this melodramatic vibe overall, right? I want to touch on Super Freak's verse for a bit, right? Because for me, I just like his vocal delivery is very, very reminiscent of old school, I would say golden age hip hop, right? And this is not an insult here, but I just mean in terms of how direct he is when he spits, how he's taking his time when he spits, right? It's always bap 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 bap, like he flows like that, right? But it's to the point that, you know, like, and he doesn't like resort to like double or triplet flows, right? But it's very simple, it's very to the point, very direct, right? His verse actually focuses a great deal on, you know, COVID and the response to it, right? So he mentions Dr. Anthony Fauci, right? And his, you know, his promotion of masks and vaccines, all that kind of stuff, right? But as Super Freak frames it now, is like those measures do little to compensate the devastation that's occurring due to this, you know, worldwide now, due to this pandemic, right? The vibe of the song itself is very arena-like, very stadium-like, and you really hear that in the chorus, right? Because there's this echo effect added to it, like almost like he's on the stage and he's just, you know, just rallying this crowd, basically, right? And Super Freak just delivers this, fuck that hook, right? And, you know, he's talking about, you know, World Health Organization, Kim Jong-il, Trump, even Biden and all as well, right? So at the end of the day, you may not agree with him though, but yeah, you had that bit, Dre. The man he's pissed on this verse, Dre. Stunna, however, comes through, like he's sticking with the 2020 vibe of the song as well too, but he's more talking about racism, Black Lives Matter, you know, that's the impact of that, right? He drops a great line though, just paraphrasing here, where he says, shoot a nigga, who is to blame? Is it the shooter or the ones who gave him an aim? It's like, all right, give him an aim. All right, cool. I love that, right? And Super Freak's hook now is modified for Stunna's topic of choice, right? So, you know, he's talking about fuck all lives matter because it's all fake chatter. Fuck make America great again. You only want the power so you could steal, so you could just steal again, right? So at the end of the day, for me, right, I imagine the criticism some listeners, especially for Trinidad, will have with this is that, you know, it's all about America and American issues, right? But I'll make the argument that these things have resonated, you know, across the world, right? And it hit, you know, in Trinidad in more ways than one, right? So yeah, why can't we address it? We don't have to be American rappers to address these things. I mean, it impacts all of us, right? So that's what it is. So it's a really like provocative way to end the mixtape off though, but I do hope that people give this song a listen and, you know, at least build some discussion off of it, right? Instead of just dismissing it as, oh, you know, You're angry at things that happened in 2020 and 2021. Okay, who cares? But now we really should care, because those things are, huge deals, right? Overall, this was a pretty solid mixtape, man. I admire how Stvnna brought his boys onto this mixtape. We gave them the moment to shine. Although for me, though, I did come out of it wishing we got at least one solo track. Though, like if it was just like at least like one or two, I would appreciate that, right? And also to the runtime, it clocks in at a full 15 minutes, which is really short, like really really short though. But still, there's a lot to digest and a lot to take out of this out of this mixtape here, right?
Right.
Production was great throughout, performances were dope throughout though. And I mean, again, despite its short runtime though, the mixtape did deliver, right? It was a dope bars and beats, right? So rating wise, I'm gonna give this a strong 3.5 out of 5, man. If it was out of 10, I would give this a 7.5. This is solid work, man. This is absolutely worth checking out. And last though, I do feel like this is like an appetizer for a potential or a future album. I do hope that we get get an album very soon, because I would like to hear more out of this guy. I would love to hear more out of G4L as well too. And by the way, I mean, shout out to Stvnna, do your thing. G4L, do your thing as well, man. So yeah, this is solid work here. I am impressed by this. So yeah, definitely give the Wise tapes a listen, man.
Yeah, nice one.